So students, today we are going to study a new topic, okay? And we are basically starting with Unit 4. So we are going to study in Unit 4 all about ad hoc networks. So till now, basically we were studying about wireless networks, okay? So now we are going to study a different type of wireless network known as ad hoc networks. So uh, can anyone tell me, does anyone know what is the meaning of a ad hoc network? What is your understanding? Is uh, what you have your existing mobile connection to the whichever SIM card you have, say Jio, Airtel, Idea. Is that a ad hoc network? Is that an example of ad hoc network? Uh, is a Bluetooth? Sometimes you transfer files through Bluetooth. Is that an ad hoc network? Do you know? Does anyone can try to explain what is the meaning of ad hoc network? Your understanding, if you know. Anyone wants to try? Anyone would like to try? Okay. So let's try to understand what is the meaning of ad hoc network. Okay. So today I'll be just introducing the topic to you, and then in the next lecture on Monday, we'll be going through all the various details of this unit. Okay, and the topic. So basically, tomorrow you'll have to do your practicals during the lecture time. So please do your practicals. Okay, complete your files. So today I will just introduce you to this topic. So basically, you just think like now to understand what is the ad hoc network. Just think that you have gone trekking into some jungle. Okay, you're setting up camp. Say you're staying overnight there. Okay, assume that you're not having any kind of towers nearby. Okay, but you still want to collaborate with each other. You want to send messages to each other. Okay, uh, so you want to communicate with each other. So within certain range, all the devices within that range, all the people who are at that camp want to communicate with each other through their, say, portable devices. Okay, so if you are able to set up such a network wherein the devices will be communicating with each other, a temporary network, okay, where it gets configured on its own. You don't have to do much work like in setting up the network. It gets auto configured. Okay, you're able to communicate with all the devices within that range. Like I'm giving the example of a camp. Okay, in a remote jungle, you're deep within the jungle, not close to any other form of wired communication or wireless communication. There are no towers, nothing. So such kind of a network will be known as a ad hoc network. Ad hoc means temporary. So the number of devices in the network are also temporary. The connections are also temporary. The topologies are also could be anything like for example we have studied when you are studying your subject computer networks, you have studied there are some standard topologies like ring, mesh, bus and all. But here the topology could be anything. Okay, and it will be dynamic. Certain devices will get added, certain devices will get removed. Okay, they'll keep moving around. So there is no fixed number of devices. Okay, so it will be temporary. The most important thing of such a network is ad hoc means it will be a temporary network. Second important characteristic will be there is no need for any infrastructure for setting up such a network. There is no need of a tower. There is no need for a router, modem, or any such device. Okay, so no infrastructure as such is needed except some device. Okay, you need some portable device with which you can communicate. Okay, nowadays we all will be having cell phones with us, smartphones. Okay, so you need only that smartphone with the help of the smartphones, you are going to set up some network. Okay, again, you don't have to do much work in setting up the network. It gets configured on its own, and such kind of temporary networks will be known as ad hoc networks. Okay, so basically ad hoc networks are established on the fly, and they work without the help of any fixed infrastructure. Okay, and if you're using mobiles, then such kind of ad hoc networks will be known as mobile ad hoc networks, or short form MANETs. MANET. M stands for mobile, A stands for ad hoc, and NET stands for networks. So MANETs. Okay, so they are basically MANETs are nothing but, like I told you, self-configuring networks set up among the handheld devices of mobile users. So MANETs are networks that are self-configuring and that are set up on the mobile devices of users. So basically this uh, MANET, that is your mobile ad hoc network, was proposed by IETF, that is the Internet Engineering Task Force, in the year 2002. Okay, so it's fairly recent compared to all some of the other technologies. So you can see it's around 20 years old. Okay, it's not too much old. So what are the applications of such a network? Okay, wherein you don't need infrastructure and all. So for example, some cyclone, like now most recently in Goa, there was a cyclone wherein there was a lot of trouble. The wires were down, the electricity was down, and a lot of trouble for everyone. So in such situations, when you don't have proper infrastructure, you can set up such networks, and these networks are like they won't have much range, but at least it will enable you to communicate with each other. Okay, uh, so we will look at how these MANETs can be set up. Okay, basic example I'll give you of how they can be set up. So have you all got that idea about what is the ad hoc network? Any doubts about what I've explained till now? Okay, so let's just go through this topic. So let's look at the basics. So like I told you, the meaning of ad hoc, it is made for a particular purpose. Okay, it's temporary, it is not planned. So you don't plan in advance how the network will look like, how many devices will be present. Okay, it's temporary and it happens at that moment. Okay, network is created at that moment. Like I told you, there is no need for fixed infrastructure. Okay, so it is a example of a multi-hop network. Okay, I will tell you what is the example, what is the meaning of multi-hop. Suppose you don't know. Okay, so like I told you, ad hoc networks are useful when you need instant networks. Okay, when you don't have infrastructure nearby, like there are no towers nearby. Okay, disaster relief, like I gave you example, there was a recent cyclone in Goa. In remote areas, like I told you, if you have gone camping in a jungle somewhere, okay, and if it is very when suppose sometimes it is supposed to be, you need communication, you need to transfer data, you need to communicate sometimes immediately. So that time you have to use such kind of networks when you are all having smartphones, for example. Again, you can just read what are the advantages of such a network. Okay, it's temporary in nature. Okay, when you mean computer to computer here, it means actually any device that is able to communicate. Okay, portable device. By computer here we don't mean PC. So any computing device that is portable and can set up such a network. Okay, and you don't need wireless access points. For example, you don't need routers, you don't need modems to transfer the data. Okay, you can share the connections between computers. Again, by computers we mean portable devices. Okay, then more than one, this should be one actually, not on. more than one laptop or node, or for example, you can replace this with a portable devices, can be connected in this network. Okay, so more than one portable device can be connected in this network. The portable devices need to be within 100 meters. You can't be very far away and expect this network to work. So these are short range networks. Okay, don't expect to be communicating from one state to another state, for example, or from one city to another city. 100 meters is the maximum you can expect. Okay, and users can be added and deleted as and when needed. Users enter also the network and leave also whenever they feel. Okay, so there's no need of a fixed connection. So therefore the topology keeps on changing dynamically. Okay, so you could have any kind of topology. It may not be a some standard topology also. So then, like I told you, what is the meaning of MANET? So MANET is Mobile Ad Hoc Network, and it was proposed in the year 2002 by IETF. Okay, so basically it is not having any infrastructure. It is IP based network, and it is for wireless machines to connect. So basically for your mobile phones to connect through wireless method. No need of wire. Then in MANETs, we do not have any centralized control. Okay, there's no kind of, like for example, in wireless communication what we were studying, there was a base tower, there was a tower through which the communication had to happen. Okay, all the communication had to happen to a tower. So here there's no need for such a kind of a thing. There's no centralized administration mechanism. Also, in a MANET, that is your ad hoc network, each mobile device could act as a router to forward the traffic to other mobile devices, okay, within the network. So each device may act as a router as well as a communication device. So it could serve a dual purpose. So, for example, taking a simple example of a mobile ad hoc network. Say there are three devices, okay, three mobiles here. So one is the source, this one's S, and one is the destination mobile. Okay, so these are all now mobiles. Okay, so all these mobiles are within a network. Now this source mobile wants to communicate with the destination mobile, but source and destination mobiles are not within each other's range. Okay, assume that source and the destination are not within each other's range, and they want to communicate with each other. Again, remember, they are communicating through ad hoc networks. So when they are communicating, there is no kind of infrastructure allowed or is not present. In other words, there is no infrastructure present except the mobile device. Okay, only the mobile device is the only piece of infrastructure that is involved in these networks. Okay, so the source mobile wants to communicate to the destination mobile, okay, through ad hoc networks. So the simple example will be, there's another mobile R, which is the intermediate mobile. Now R is within the range of S. It is within the wireless range of S. Okay, and R is also within the wireless range of D. So in such a situation, what S will do, since it wants to communicate with D, it will send its data to R. Okay, it will first forward its data to R, and R will forward the data to D. R will forward the data to D. Similarly, vice versa. If the destination wants to reply, then the destination will send the data to R, and the R, which is the intermediate node, will forward the data to S. So R, which is your intermediate node, acts like a kind of a router. Okay, it acts like a kind of a router. So this is the way your devices in a ad hoc network function. Okay, not all devices may not be within each other's range. So it does not mean that all the devices need to be in each other's range. So if you form this device network successfully, you could have quite a large distance that is being covered. Okay. So the only problem with such a thing is, if suppose this device in between switches off for some reason, okay, if this device switches off for some reason, then S will not be able to communicate with D. Okay, so this connection will only work as long as R is up and running. Okay, if it gets switched off for some reason, like your cell phones have some battery life. Okay, so as long as it is charged, it will work. Suppose this mobile discharges and gets switched off for some reason, then S and D will not be able to communicate with each other, because S and D are not within each other's range. Okay, remember that. So basically, this is an example of a simple ad hoc network. Just to show you that some random devices, okay, have just got together, formed a network, and are communicating with each other. Okay, even if they are not within each other's range, as long as there is an intermediate node, they can send data to or communicate with each other. Okay, now there are many kinds of risks involved in such a communication. Okay, we'll come to that later. Okay, some of you may be having those questions, those thoughts, so we'll come to that later. This is for you to just understand the concept of a ad hoc network, how a ad hoc network can be set up. So any questions about this with regards to the network or how the communication is taking place? Okay, again, how R forwards the data, how it acts like a router. There are some routing algorithms and all that we'll be studying later on. Okay, so we'll come to those parts of the ad hoc networks later. The kind of security threats, the kind of routing algorithms that we need to use. Okay. So with regards to this simple model of a ad hoc network, that is basically a simple version of your MANET, your mobile ad hoc networks. You all have any questions? Anyone? Any question? All understood? Okay, if you have any questions, you can type. So basically in today's lecture, like I told you, it was just going to be an introduction. So in the next slide, I will talk about the characteristics. What are the main characteristics? How will you consider a network to be a ad hoc network, and which network will be a wireless network? Okay, we'll discuss the characteristics of all these networks, and then I will come back to that question, whether your connection, your mobile connection with the, now for example, like I told you, you are having any kind of some company SIM in your mobile. So you are having Jio, Vodafone, Airtel, whatever SIM you have in your mobile. That connection, whether it's a ad hoc network, okay, it's part of a ad hoc network. We'll come to that question after we look at the characteristics of ad hoc networks. Okay. So before we go to the characteristics, I would just like to tell you about, since we are talking about the basics of MANETs, one of the most important things in your mobile device, okay, for your mobile device to function, is the battery of that mobile. Okay. So with regards to that, in your textbook, they mentioned different battery types. I will just go through those battery types quickly. Okay. they may ask you a question on that. So basically, there are some of these battery technologies are no longer in use, but some of them are in use. Okay, so the first technology that is in use or was used was nickel cadmium. Okay, and it was used in the earlier types of portable electronic devices, and its main advantage was low cost, and it used to have very high discharge rate. Okay, but in recent times nickel cadmium has not been used much. Okay, because it is very toxic, but maybe in some CD players and all it is still being used, but mostly in mobile devices now we don't use this technology. Okay, the second type of battery technology that could be used is nickel metal hydride. So they are mostly used in laptop computers, and they have shorter recharge cycle life. They can be recharged more easily and more faster, but they are more expensive. Okay, the third type is lithium ion. So this is like lithium batteries are very popular nowadays. So their weight of such batteries is halfer than that of nickel cadmium batteries for similar size batteries. Okay, but they are more expensive. So lithium ion batteries are more expensive than the nickel cadmium or the nickel metal hydride batteries. Then the fourth type is reusable alkaline. So such kind of batteries are also low cost batteries. And the last type of batteries is lithium polymer batteries. So such batteries are very thin in size. Like you can say the thickness of such batteries is around 1 mm, so 1 millimeter. Okay, and they suit the next generation type of devices that are being developed. Okay, which need to be lightweight. So they are more safer than even your lithium batteries that are in use. But these obviously these batteries, since they are so thin and they are lightweight, they are more expensive to manufacture, and yeah, they can heat up more. Okay, so work is going on such kind of batteries which are lithium polymer batteries. So basically there are 5 types of battery technologies that are mentioned on your textbook. You can go through this on your textbook on page 131 and page 132 of your textbook. Just go through it if they may ask you a question on this. So now let's look at a characteristic of a mobile ad hoc network. When will we consider a wireless network as a wireless network, and when will we consider it as a ad hoc network? So it is based on these characteristics. So the first characteristic is lack of fixed infrastructure. So for a wireless network to be called a ad hoc network, okay, we call it a ad hoc network if it is not having a fixed infrastructure. Okay, so for example, they do not have any towers in between them. Okay, so or any kind of modems or routers, then such kind of networks will be called as MANETs. Okay, second characteristic is they are having dynamic topologies. Okay, so since like I told you, the devices in a MANET can enter and leave whenever they feel. Okay, so such kind of topologies can change very fast. So the rate of the topology change depends on the speed of movement of the mobile devices. Okay, so the speed, and again the speed of the mobile device depends on the time of the day. Okay, so on various times of the day the mobiles may be entering and leaving the network at different times at different rates. The third one is the based on the bandwidth. Okay, so and the capacity of the links. So Mostly these kind of networks have a lower capacity, okay, that have lower capacity than wired networks. So wireless links, like you know, have a lower bandwidth capacity than wired links. Also, such kind of connections could be uh, susceptible to uh, factors like noise, interference, then something known as fading. Okay, what is fading? You're further away from the source, the signal strength is decreasing. Okay, then the fourth characteristic is uh, the battery life. Okay, so for that we are calling it as a energy constrained operation. So most of these devices that are part of the network in a ad hoc network are based on are running on battery. Depending on the battery life, how much it is charged, for that much time it can remain connected in the network. Okay, so if the battery drains out, then obviously the device will be disconnected. Okay, so whenever routing protocols are also being designed, we need to take this characteristic into consideration. That is the life of the battery, that a device may disconnect because the battery has got drained out. Then you know that such kind of devices, when they form a ad hoc network, like I gave you in this example, okay, S is sending its data to R. Okay, so it makes the connection quite vulnerable because S's data is going to R. So R has to be quite secure in order to, okay, or R may, it may lead to some kind of security breach. Okay, in between also, as the data is traveling from S to R, okay, there will be other problems like eavesdropping, or some denial of service attack, some spoofing, some kind of thing. Okay, since these devices keep connecting and disconnecting, okay, it may be very difficult to identify the attacker. Okay, so the devices keep moving, they connect and disconnect whenever they feel. So it may be very difficult to identify who is the attacker in such kind of networks. Then there are some other characteristics like peer-to-peer mode of operation, then something known as multi-hop. Okay, multi-hop, like for example, is meaning of multi-hop is, suppose they are sending the data from A to B. Okay, suppose it goes directly from A to B, then this is known as single hop. Okay, the connection is direct from A to B. But suppose A is sending to data to C, but it is not sending it directly, it is sending the data first to B, and then B is forwarding the data to C. In such kind of connections where there are at least two hops involved, this is one hop and this is the second hop, so where there are at least two hops involved, those kind of connections are known as multi-hop connections or multi-hop routing. Okay, so when for multi-hop there should be at least two devices or two connections involved. Okay, then other characteristic of a MANET is there are frequent changes to the connection. Okay, so nodes may enter and leave the topology as and when they want. So these are the main characteristics: lack of infrastructure, dynamic topologies, the bandwidth is constrained with regards to wired connection, energy constrained operation, that is the battery life, increased vulnerability, that is the connections could be susceptible to eavesdropping, spoofing, denial of service attack. Okay, and some other reasons could be the peer-to-peer mode of operation, multi-hop routing, and frequent changes to the connection. So now, based on what I told you, these characteristics, can you tell me what is your connection your mobile connection with the SIM card, is it ad hoc network or is it just a wireless connection? Yes, students. Ad hoc networks will not need infrastructure. So does your mobile phone need infrastructure for communication with other mobile phones? When I'm talking of your calls, the calls you make to your friends or your relatives. So do those calls require infrastructure? It's done through a ad hoc network. Is it through a wireless network or through a ad hoc network? The calls that you make, for example, through your mobile. Yes, so it needs the infrastructure. So basically, whenever you're using your SIM cards and you're communicating through that, you're basically the calls, for example, the calls that you make, you're using the infrastructure. So therefore, that's not an example of ad hoc networks. Okay. So whichever wireless networks use any kind of infrastructure, okay, you can just use that point and decide whether that wireless network is an ad hoc network. Ad hoc means temporary, okay, temporary, it is not permanent. Yeah, you could consider Bluetooth as a kind of a ad hoc network. Okay, okay, Bluetooth is a ad hoc network, but only reason that Bluetooth may not be considered as a ad hoc network is one device acts as the master. I don't know if you know the concept of Bluetooth, how it works. One device acts as the master and the other devices connect as the slave devices. So in ad hoc networks, there is no concept of master and slave. Okay, so it Bluetooth is almost like a ad hoc network, you can say, because it is random. The topologies are not fixed. The number of devices is not fixed. Okay, connections, you don't need infrastructure for that, but only because of this master slave thing, I don't think we can call it as a ad hoc network exactly in the true sense. Okay, because like I told you on this slide here, yeah, the working of ad hoc networks is they work in a peer-to-peer mode. Okay, there is no concept of like one device will be a master device and the other devices will be slave devices. Whereas in your Bluetooth devices, the connections are based on that. You can research more on that if you want to understand the thing about Bluetooth. Okay, but yeah, it is almost like for you to understand, you can understand that way. It's almost like a that can be like a ad hoc, but mostly you when you set up now, for example, this example of a cyclone was good. When the electricity was down, everything was down, the towers were down, say you didn't have range, and say you could set up a network between your mobiles in your family, in your house, say among your family members only, or with your neighbors. If you could set up a network, that kind of a network would be a ad hoc network, wherein you send data across. Okay, like shown in this slide, you send from you're sending data from one the source to the destination with some intermediate node in between. Okay, and there is no towers involved in this communication, no mobile towers are involved. So any doubts about what we have done till now from the first slide? So I'll just summarize. You can ask me if you're having doubts. So basically, ad hoc network is something that is temporary network. It is not planned. Okay, it just happens at that moment. The topologies are not fixed. The more useful when, like for example, if there is no infrastructure involved. For example, in disaster relief, remote areas. Okay, so there's no need for any internet connections, or you can share actually your data between the computers through devices. Okay, more than one device can be connected. Such networks are normally very small, within a small range. Okay, Then you can delete this or add users or delete users. Basically, you don't add or delete. They only enter and leave the networks. Okay. So there's no kind of admin in this. Then this idea of ad hoc network, when it is applied to mobiles, it is known as a mobile ad hoc network or a MANET. And this idea was proposed in the year 2002 by IETF. Okay. So basically, each device could act as a router. So we don't have any special routers involved in the network. This is a simple example of a mobile ad hoc network involving 3 devices, where S is communicating with D and S and D are not within each other's range. So therefore, S forwards to another device which is within its range and within the network. Okay, that is R, which is the intermediate node. R is within the range of both S and D. Okay, the S forwards its data to R. R takes the data and forwards it to D. So that is how S and D will communicate with each other, and R functions as a kind of a router. Okay, but remember, R is not a router. S, R and D are all mobile devices. None of them are routers. And no, there's nowhere here any kind of a tower involved in the communication. There's no mobile tower involved, there's no modem, there's no router involved in this communication. There are just 3 mobile devices. And such kind of a network can be self-configuring, can be set up without quite easily. So the main characteristics of a MANET, like I told you, are no infrastructure, topologies are dynamic, the bandwidth is a bit less compared to wired networks. They are susceptible to kind of noise, interference, fading. Then you're having something like a energy where the devices are dependent on the battery, the capacity of the battery in the device. Okay, security risk could be a bit more here. Okay, so the threats could be like various security threats like eavesdropping, spoofing, denial of service attacks. Okay, the other characteristics are it is mostly multi-hopping. It's based on multi-hop. Okay, so mostly. Okay, then there's peer-to-peer mode of operation, and there could be frequent changes on the connection. So mobile devices may be more at certain times in the network, at certain times of the day it may be less. So yeah, any doubts before we stop for today?